Alright, so today we'll be stringing a mid to mid-high pocket in the StringKing Mark IID just like I have here, so stay tuned for the tutorial. Alright, so before we begin the tutorial, you're going to need a 9-diamond top string, as you can see I have here. You're going to need that 9-diamond top string on the first hole of the head. So once again, 9-diamond top string on the first hole of the head. So we're going to begin the pattern on the 2D. So we're going to start on the second hole of the head. So I'm going to put my string through that second hole. And we'll do a loop. So we're going to go up and through that first available mesh hole. Back into that same first saddle hole. And up and through that same loop. Just like so. We're going to skip the next 2 saddle holes and do an SI. So down to the top of the next mesh hole. Skipping 2 saddle holes and going into the plastic. We're going to go through this loop that we create. Pull it up and down so it's nice and tight. And then take our string and go from the bottom and up of that same mesh hole. And that is our first SI. So after that first SI, we're going to skip the next 2 saddle holes and do a KSI. So we're going to go down to the top of the next mesh hole. We're going to take our string and go into the plastic, making sure to skip 2 saddle holes. We're going to take our string and pull it through. We're going to leave a small loop, just like that. I'm going to take my string and go from the back of that loop and through. And to signify that we are creating a KSI, we're going to have a small little pretzel, as you can see. And then from the inside, I'm going to take my string and pull the slack out. You're going to take your fingers and pinch the saddle string to the plastic, and then pull your leading end downwards. And take our string and go from the bottom and up of that same mesh hole. Now we're going to do another KSI, so we're going to skip 3 more saddle holes down through the top of the next mesh hole, skipping 3 saddle holes, going into the plastic, leaving a small loop, going from behind the loop and through. Once again, we should have another pretzel, taking our string from the inside and pulling the slack out. And then we're going to use our fingers and pinch the string to the plastic of the head and pour leading in downwards. And take our string and go from the bottom and up of that same mesh hole, just like so. And now we're going to start to create the pocket on the Mark IID. So we should already have those 2, or that 1 SI and then the 2 KSIs following right after. So I'm going to take my string, I'm going to take and go through the top of the next mesh hole, and do that once again on the next mesh hole after that one. And we're going to skip 2 saddle holes. So we're going to go into the plastic of the head, making sure to skip 2 saddle holes. I'm going to leave a little bit of slack here. You're going to take the middle of the mesh and pull it up towards the top of the scoop a little bit. And pull your string back a little bit more. We're going to take our leading end string and going from the bottom and up of that last mesh hole. And we're going to do that again on that first mesh hole we went through. So it'll look something like this. And we're going to pull my string upwards and then downwards, and then up again, and then back down again. So you should have 2 mesh loops resting on top of each other to create that that stacked SI to help create the pocket on the 2D. So after that stacked SI, we're going to skip 1 saddle hole and do a KSI. So we're going to go down to the top of the next mesh hole. Once again, taking the middle of the mesh and put up towards the scoop to help it create the pocket, pulling our string downwards so that mesh loop anchors to the plastic. We're going to go into the plastic, making sure to skip one solid hole. We're going to do that KSI, so we're going to leave another loop going from the back of the loop and through, pulling the slack from the inside, and then pulling that string downwards. I'm going to take my string, going from the bottom and up, and also pulling the middle of the mesh up towards the scoop, and then up and then down. So we should have a stacked SI, skip one solid hole, and then a KSI right after that one. So now we're going to do a couple more stacked SIs. So we're going to go down to the top of the next mesh hole. We're going to skip one solid hole, and I'm going to pull in the middle of the mesh once again to help create the pocket into the plastic, skipping one solid hole. We're going to do the KSI, and then from the back of that loop once again, pulling the mesh from the inside, or the string from the inside, and then pulling our leading in downwards, going from the bottom up of that next mesh hole, or that same one, pulling the middle of the mesh to help create the pocket, and then up and down. We're going to do that one more time, skipping one solid hole, into the plastic, through the loop that we create, pulling the string from the inside of the head, pinching it, and then pulling straight down, and then from the bottom and up, and pulling the mesh upwards towards the scoop to help create the pocket, and just like that. So now we're getting to the bottom of the pocket. We're going to skip 3 solid holes and do a KSI. So we're going to go down to the top of the next mesh hole, pulling the middle of the mesh upwards towards the scoop again, skipping 3 solid holes. We're going to leave that loop once again, going from the back of that loop, pulling the string from the inside, pinching it, and then using our leading in string and just pulling it straight down. And then going from the bottom and up of that same mesh hole. So next we are going to skip 2 solid holes and do an interlock. So we're going to go from the outside like this, and we'll leave a little loop because we're doing an interlock. So it'll look something like that. And then from the inside, you see I have this loop right here. I have my string on the inside of the plastic, and I'm going to go through that loop, and then through this loop. So it'll look something like this from the inside, and then out of the back side. And then we need to pull the mesh once again up towards the scoop because we're still finishing off the pocket. Take our leading in and pulling it outwards, nice and tight, up and down. And now to finish off the pocket, we need to take our leading in string, go from the top and down of that same mesh hole, and then from the inside of the head, we're going to go out and through the bottom of that last available silo hole. So this is what it should look like from the inside, as you can see. And the last thing, all we need to do is simply just tie a knot. And there you go. So after that, you should have a really nice looking mid to mid-high pocket in your StringKing Mark 2D. It's going to have a nice channel, as you can see. It's going to be great for any LSM or close defender that likes to take the ball down the field. Also, since the pocket is so high, when you go for a ground ball, it's going to rest in the deepest part of the stick really, really quickly. So if you found this video helpful or enjoyed the tutorial, be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.